Do you think our school and college leavers have the right employability skills for Cornish businesses?
That sounds like you first, David.
It's not in my view. I hope you can hear me. I'll just preface this with a few remarks. Very few people in this room train for what they're doing now. I asked the panel, several of them. So that's an important thing to understand, that what you actually train for isn't necessarily what you end up doing. What we've always had is a kind of flexibility in our education and training. Secondly, what you tell your sons and daughters to do and you tell them what to train to be is what they want to do and they're going to enjoy, unless you've told them that they need to put that aside and say UK PLC needs you to do this. So it's a metallurgy for you, my girl, okay, or it's hairdressing for you, my boy, whatever it is. So very few people, when they make a general pronouncement about what the economy needs and what we should be training more of or less of, ever apply it to what they've done themselves or what they're asking their sons and daughters to do. So we've got a disjunct there. But having said that, we're a tertiary college. We train people right across the range of what we call vocational or occupational and traditional academic. And I like to think we do it well. But overall, we haven't got very good figures to answer your question. You know, are people leaving the skills and the level of knowledge and understanding they need? Cornwall Key Stage 4 results at 16, they're average, just. And we do have some school secondary as well as primary now in special measures. Cornwall Key Stage 5, that's age 19, 18, 19. If you take the data of one institution out, and modesty forbids, but it accounts for 40% of 16-year-olds, then it's very, very poor indeed what we're achieving. So locally we're not very good. But some of the national data is more depressing. We've got one of the lowest staying on rates post-16 in the OECD. So persuade them to stay on to do anything, never mind how relevant or otherwise. And also we've got one of the smallest proportions post-16 of people doing vocational or occupational training. Generally in Germany, Austria, I think it's 2/3. In this country, it's 1/3. And the education policy we've got at the moment to address that is really about pushing academic subjects. It's about looking at which country this week is the one we should imitate. So is it Finland, Korea, Shanghai, Singapore, whatever it is. And we've also got the collapse, and the CBI have said this, Ofsted have said this, and the Common Select Committee, of impartial, effective careers advice and guidance in schools. So it's a gloomy picture. The answer, I think, is to have good impartial advice, and it's actually to have institutions that really can deliver and to be led by what employers say they want and need and prepared to commission. But remember, being prepared to commission something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to recruit to it, and that's a bigger story, I think.
Now, Peter, as one of Cornwall's large employers and part of the Large Enterprise Action Group, what's the employer's view on this?
I think the key skills that you need with young people coming through is not necessarily great educational skills. They need communication, they need people skills, they need confidence, and a good skill set. We've just taken on 6 apprentices this year, and it's the best 6 we've ever taken on. We haven't gone in for the 16-year-olds straight out of school. We've taken a range of people who've started to do courses at Cornwall College and at various places. They're between 19 and 31. They've decided what they want to do, and they know if they're going to come as a welder, they're going to do some good skilled stuff. They're also going to be upside down in the double bottom doing something awful on a Sunday afternoon, but they appreciate that, and they've got the skill set to deal with it. And these guys are going to be the future supervisors, potentially managers going forward. And I see in the last 3 to 4 years a massive change in what the colleges are delivering. I declare an interest. I'm also governor of Cornwall College. And our new mission statement, to be announced, will be making learning work. And I think that's a key thing. And I think we're doing it. Everybody will have a moan, but as an employer, I think it's definitely improving and definitely getting better.
Okay, that's a fairly positive message. Thelma, is that what most employers tell you? It is.
Absolutely. Peter's mirrored exactly what I hear.
Right, okay.
And speaking as also a board member of Cornwall College, I would agree with him.
Any employers here with a different view, or educationalists here with a different view? No? Okay, well that's a fairly okay, Chris.
Sorry, can I come back to something? I think for me, one of the things as well, it's not just actually young people that don't have the skills that employers are looking for. And I think, young people actually just get a little bit older and suddenly we call them adults. And that happens to them when they hit maybe 23, 24, 25. It doesn't mean that they naturally then develop the skills and the attitudes and things that employers are looking for. And we come across in our Careers Southwest, where we're out there sort of working with unemployed people to get them to work, come across a lot of adults actually that many employers would say are unemployable. So I think the problem is bigger than just young people. And I think also back to your introductory point, we have had a huge amount of European Social Fund money that's come into Cornwall. And the issue that we have is everything that we've done, very little has been sustainable. So that's
I'm hearing here from the employer side of things that actually the problem isn't nearly as bad as it's sometimes been presented. Chris, did you want to add something to that?
I just wanted to say as well, I think there's an issue around work ethic. And, you know, David, when I was reading his CV, when I saw he was coming on, you know, a forklift driver is brilliant. I've worked in bars, I've worked in building sites, and that understanding of what a hard day's work is just so important. And especially when you're driving a small business, sometimes big businesses become so slow. And I was talking to someone earlier downstairs and about how, you know, I went to London recently on a business trip, and I was able to stop via Heathrow, meet someone coming in from America, down to France, successful meeting with a French company. And again, another point, languages. We should all learn a language. It's an embarrassment. I couldn't speak French properly. Luckily, the Frenchman did. But then I was able to have back into London and 2 more successful business meetings. Now, sometimes when things become a bit bloated, you can cruise off to London for 1 meeting and think that you've delivered good value. We need to make sure that we're kind of really pushing it and sharp, as if you were that little tiny business. So that kind of thing, you know, it would do our politicians no harm to do a bit of forklift driving and understanding what it really is like to do some hard graft.
I think that anecdote illustrates to me something, which is the workplace sometimes gets bad press, that it's often the place where you meet your friends, go for a drink after work, learn a lot of skills and that sort of thing, which, you know, that's what work gives you, that self-esteem, doesn't it, and those connections and so on, as well as the actual workplace.
I've kind of got an experience from the opposite perspective, having been a mum of a daughter who was educated here in Cornwall. She came here to this college, went off to university and got her first honours, did her masters and came top of the class in that, came back to Cornwall and couldn't get work in her skill set and ended up having to go off to London. I don't know who's been watching Mind the Gap, but that series to me really points out how much investment is being put into London. And certainly our experience in our family is that the skills that she had have been lost to Cornwall because she's off. And I just worry how many people
do you
are in that boat.
Do you think, I think that's been recognised in the past, do you think Cornwall's smart specialisations and colleges are now getting their act together as well as the universities? Do you think that's improving now?
I really hope so. And actually I have to say one of the things that she did do, even post masters, was come back to this college and do one of the success courses in project management, and that actually was instrumental in getting that job back in London. But again, all she did was use that and take that skill and that investment that Cornwall put into her, and then went off to London.
So David, does that please you that we've got somebody who we've given wings and is flying, or would you?
No, in one sense, when you educate people and give them skills in a market, they're going to go where the work is. So we can't make any apology for its fantastic story that you're telling there. And I'm glad that in terms of in later life, as somebody's saying, you know, we read things from success courses to apprenticeships for adults to response to redundancy programs, we keep doing it. But that educating people to a very high level doesn't commit them to staying to the place where they're educated. And that's what, you know, other types of investment. On the other hand, growing the skills, some employers will say locally, I cannot find the skills locally. And that is what we hope to be more and more responsive to. And sometimes it's not the higher education skills that are lacking, it's the level 1, level 2, level 3 skills, practical skills that are lacking. And that's what we as a college and other providers in Cornwall are focusing on just as much, I think.
I think what's important over the next 6 years, that now that Cornwall and the LEP have identified what the smart specialisations are, and we know where the employment opportunities are going to lie and where the high level skills are going to be needed, is that the colleges, the schools are working with those demands to make sure that if we want to keep some of those bright kids here, that they are getting the right things. And is that working, do you think, David? Are we sort of aligning education with what those opportunities are going to be here?
I think it's happening, but that kind of investment is quite a slow burn in terms of actually preparing people, growing the industry side by side. You don't get the kind of quick fix, and we're in an age of economic quick fixes. We're reducing the structural deficit by half in 4 years, so that's motoring really, but the investment side of things can sometimes take longer. So could we have used some money much better? I think we could. Has it all been wasted? No, I don't think it has. I think there are things, the seeds have been sown that are going to go and grow.
Yeah, I think slow burn projects like university and innovation centres, I mean, alongside the great work the colleges are doing, that probably is slow burn, isn't it? Yeah, okay.